Welcome. Thank you for joining me for episode 5, titled One Path is Revealed Once Another Closes. After last week, the first week of my officially launching my second podcast, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond for 2017-2018, that this would be considered premium content. So for this week going forward, we start the season where what I mean by premium content is that I will release weekly clips from the full short story for that week, which sometimes for that week I might release a scene of the actual short story to give those that has not joined as a patron more opportunity to see what exactly they can get from my podcast as a premium listener, right? And also that will keep you interested and intrigued to wanting to join to see all of the other rewards you can get based on your paid level. So in this podcast, it initially started with MOLIAE themed stories. As that production is in prep phase right now for the prestige return of MOLIAE stage play, our third time returning back to stage. I'm very excited about that. Right now we are still in prep phase for MOLIAE return on stage. In the meantime, this new podcast will mostly feature MOLIAE's storyline to give you more insight into the many over 50 characters from my book titled Mitsrayim, a Memoir. This book of mine is available on Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble or any other book retailer. For those that are following me on my social media platforms and familiar with my theatrical independent productions, I do plan to publish modern day stories outside of the main one, as I mentioned, mostly of MOLIAE, in prior pre-launch episodes. So going forward, you will be able to get the opportunity to read my short stories on modern day themes, which I'm very excited about. So become a patron to show your support for this venture and the productions I have produced and future ones I am to produce as well. For a holiday special, you can join as a patron for $1 to try it out and see if you want to continue it, and after you can decide if you want to stay or not. I hope that you stay. For today's podcast, for episode 5 of my podcast, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, you will get a clip of the full short story. To find out what happens next, in this episode 5, you will want to join the special rate to become a patron of my venture here in doing this podcast. Again, the first level starts at $1. You can cancel anytime. That particular website will be in the description box below. The website address is www.patreon, P as in Paul, patreon.com/Nichel Anderson. Now let me also share with you some great benefits to become a patron that are the following. Okay, so for the first thing, not only will you get access to the full short story, but rewards. It is a good thing. Also, depending on your paid level, you get more additional stories of episodes not released to the public. So more behind the scenes type access. Now, who don't want that? Right? So you also get your own patron feed URL to gain access to my private server that's on Patreon, meaning that it's like a private, exclusive online chat type distribution of material that I can release and also communicate, almost like a private line directly to me, in a sense that we can communicate and talk about these stories and talk about the productions that I'm working on and so forth. Now, the opportunities to do a live recording of a show episode will be provided if you join as a patron, where you are one of the characters reading the lines of that particular short story to be released. Now, come on, that's awesome. Especially if you've never done this before, in the sense of acting or any voiceovers. I mean, it's really fun. And of course, shout outs during promotional and non-promotional events on my social media platforms. plus first access to these stories before they are packaged up into a book form. Because you know me, or at least most people that do, I'm always doing something, recreating something into something new. So my goal for the future, what I'm thinking about is each year to package it up and to have that season all nice and together and put it on maybe Amazon on my website. So for those that by chance haven't heard of MOLIAE or my short stories, they can be able to have that volume. So that's the future goal. So why not get into now where you can get in with this low introductory rate and also build that connection between us in the sense that we love short stories and you love my short stories with MOLIAE and other future modern day stories you will get access to. So it's better to do it now than later where it's all packaged up and that premium amount would change. Also, the chance to get a signed autograph that's associated with the particular production I'm writing about and doing these episodes. So that's even good too. So just to name a few of the things I just did, go check out listening to this podcast show at my Patreon page at Patreon, that's patreon.com/Nichel Anderson and become a patron starting at the special rate of $1 for the trial period, or you can go ahead and just start at $3 level at the very beginning level, getting you to the higher levels is associated. All of this is just a few examples of what you can get and experience and the benefits of joining. So go check out listening to this podcast show at my Patreon page on www.patreon, that's P as in Paul, A as in Apple, T as in Tom, R as in Rainbow, E as in Eric, O as in OK, N as in no.com/Nichel Anderson and become a patron starting at a special rate right now at $1 for the trial period, or just go ahead and start the initial level starting at $3 and above that associate certain rewards based on your level. Also, I just want to share as well, I have thought about to have a direct link from my other podcast, Surviving Your Journey Towards Success, that on that particular homepage for that podcast, I do have an already set up premium level that you can also go ahead and maybe sign up through that portal. And again, I will leave information in the description so you can see what I'm talking about. Just to go ahead, you want to do that, it would be there for you. So either or avenues, either patreon.com or on my other podcast site, you can go there and directly sign up and get that premium type access by paying for that particular level. And again, the information will be in the description. All right, let's go ahead and start, right? So we continue in this week's episode 5 with another short stories featuring MOLIAE, a theatrical production from my book, Mitsrayim, a memoir that highlights ancient Egypt Kemet. At this timeline, it is before the time of Princess Amina, when Mitsrayim was still at the height of its power, influence, and knowledge of those from Sumerian region. In the last week episode, the Mitsrayim family military spy Halak, with 400 armed forces, made it to Ganuto and notified the young comrade Jatar before he entered into the high tent of one of Mitsrayim's enemies. Through an ancient communication ray using the reflection of light, he is humbled of getting such support from the rulers of Mitsrayim, as then move forward to make his presence known to one of the enemies of Mitsrayim. Later, Queen Hagar informs Princess Hannah of her father's condition that pleases Hannah as she waits to see her father, King Mahlon, soon. Meanwhile, on the west bank of the Sudan, it is Echo that ends that scene walking out of a secret entry of a cave to stand at the ridge to use their way to communicate afar with a metal object raised up to the skies. Let's begin. In this episode 5, titled, One Path is Revealed Once Another Closes. For my podcast show, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond. Opening scene. The start of Apsu, as in any other day on the shores of Kushit, on the eastern side of the Sudan, began with a cool breeze from the north. On the far right, on the beach's sand, there are 12 understudies in Aruri meditation, all making the sound of Directly above, on the stone level, open balcony, we see an elder in a royal-long garment attire, the color of white and gold. We see Tayyib, the father of Queen Hagar, that was visiting the rest of the elders of Naven, the ones from Ra. He is sitting on the open stone deck on the side view of the temple, facing the sea in a meditating position. He wanted clear thoughts as he prepares, along with Queen Mother Mana of Hagar, to return back to Mitsrayim with special herbs for King Mahlon recovery. Suddenly, a young temple guard enters the open terrace. There is a message all the way from Mitsrayim. It is from your daughter, the Queen Hagar. Tayyib opened his eyes and saw the guard ready to hand him a papyrus rolled up scroll. He unrolled the papyrus scroll and read it. It was written in both Sumerian cuneiform and Anakan Pleiades language, an extremely secret way to communicate in written form. After reading the scroll, he instructs the guard to burn it in the far opening flame bowl before him. The guard did as commanded. Tayyib stood up and turned around to leave as the guard followed. Within moments, he saw his wife walking towards him. She speaks first. Her hair was full with the tightest curls as a cord and round as the sun, and black ripples of few strands of gray. She is wearing a wrapped long dress the color of turquoise, like a gemstone dipped in lightest blue tinted gold. Is it Hagar? Tayyib nods. We leave at this moment. It is time. How is she? I feel she is holding within, Queen Mother Mana responded with a bit of concern. I concur, and again this early begun. End scene.